Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. About me, I am Sandeep Bhushan Thummala and my credentials are I have 8 years of teaching experience for civil services. I teach international relations, internal security and the analysis of Hindu newspaper. And this video is in regards to how to crack prelims 2020. And prior to that, you have a notification in regards to the subscription of Let's Crack UPSC CSE, which is India's largest learning platform. And once you get subscribed to the Crack UPSC CSE, you will have access to unlimited live and recorded courses from India's best educators. The privileges what you would get once you are subscribing the Unacademy, you would get daily live classes wherein you can chat with your educator, engage in discussions, ask your doubts, and also be part of the answer polls. You also have the live tests and quizzes wherein you can evaluate your preparation with our regular mock test and quizzes. Thereby you would get detailed analysis on your performance. And you also have the structured courses wherein all our courses are structured in line with our UPSC exam syllabus, which will help you best prepare for it. You also have the unlimited access where upon subscription you will get access to all our live and recorded courses and you can watch it from your comfort, that is your mobile or laptop. And you have the top educators at Unacademy, and these are all the top educators. And you also have the top educators here wherein you can see various top educators wherein you can have what do you say glance, or you can go through these top educator classes once you subscribe. You have these courses at UPSC CSE, that is you have the course for polity, history, current affairs, as well as for economy, geography and optional courses. And also in regards to the UPSC CSE batches, environment and ecology, and also science and technology. Along with these, you also have the courses for governance, practice and strategy, CSAT paper, ethics, integrity and aptitude, Indian society, social issues, essay writing, internal security, answer writing, and also in regards to the interview preparation. And in regards to the UPSC CSE subscription, you have 12-month subscription and also 24-month subscription. And the 12-month subscription, the original amount is 40,000. And when you go ahead with the subscription, while you are subscribing, you can use my code SBT10. So when you use my code SBT10, you will get 10% of discount on the 40,000 and the amount would be 36,000. So you have another option, that is 24 months, wherein the original price of the 24 months is 48,000. You can subscribe the channel by using my code SBT10, and upon using my code the price would come down up to 43,200 from 48,000. And for 24 months you would be paying for the amount of 12 months, that is 40,000 plus 1 month, that is 8,000. So for 24 months, which is the original price is 48,000, you are paying for 40,000 amount of 40,000, which is for 12 months, and also the 1 month amount 8,000. But again, if you are using my code SBT10, you will get 10% upon the 48,000 and you can go ahead with subscribing with just 43,200 for 24 months. So it is always recommended for you all to subscribe for 24 months because you are being benefited out of the 24-month subscription, wherein you are paying for only 12 months plus 1 month and you are getting it for the entire 24 months. So make sure that you go ahead with the subscription for 24 months, and then you can see all my live and recorded courses along with mine. You can see all the top educators who would be teaching various subjects. So you can also have the live and recorded courses of all the educators at an academy once you subscribe. So do not wait, but go ahead with a subscription of 24 months and take the maximum benefit out of it. Now let's get into the topic, that is the analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And we would discuss about the topics of the Hindu newspaper. And the reason why we need to, my lecture of this class is because that you will be enhanced with the factual and also analytical explanations of the topics which are required for the prelims, and then which are very important while you are going ahead with the descriptive answer writing in your mains. So my class or my video, my lecture would definitely help you in regards to having a thorough understanding in regard in point of or with in respect to the prelims point of view and also in regards to the mains point of view. So now the topics what we would discuss is the rate cuts, the liquidity, and the talks with Taliban. So first and foremost, we will look at the rate cuts, wherein the news which talks about the RBI cuts rates and allow loan moratorium. So we will look at what were the initiations and various initiations taken by the RBI to cut the rates, and what was the necessity for the RBI to go ahead with the rate cut in rates, and how does it impact the money flow or the liquidity in the market or with the banks. Yes, the RBI has opened the liquidity floodgates for the banks. How? By making sure that they have reduced the interest rates, the key interest rates, that is the repo rates, by 75 basis points. So by reducing the key interest rates by almost 75 basis points, thereby it is a kind of measure making sure that the liquidity or the pumping of money takes place in the banks. And then we have the repo rate and the reverse repo rate, wherein the government has taken an initiative to reduce the interest rates. So what are the two interest rates the RBI has gone ahead with reducing it? Yes, it is the repo rate, which was reduced to 75 basis points, which now it is 4.4 percentage, and the reverse repo rate, it was reduced almost 90 basis point, that is close to 1 percentage, and now the reverse repo rate is 4 percentage. That means that today's or the what you say yesterday's RBI's initiative to go ahead with the reducing the key interest rate, that is repo rate, up to 4.4 percentage, that is in the month of March 2020. But if you look at the previous, that is previous year of February 2019, the repo rate was around 6 percentage, and now it is 4.4 percentage. And when you look at the reverse repo rate, it was 6 percentage then, and now it has been reduced to 4 percentage. So it is very clear by this initiative taken by the RBI is, it's solely that it wanted to go ahead with the pumping of money with the banks, or it wanted to make sure that the banks are holding more of cash with them, so that it is important that the money would be further pumped into the market, that is to the individuals or to the businessman in the form of giving loans to them, so that those loans can be what is used as the money for them, or also in regards to buying any commodities or in regards to any product. Thereby again the circulation takes place in the market, and that particular manufacturing unit, they will get into the manufacturing mode, and once their production increases, when the production increases, definitely there would be demand. Once the demand increases, the production unit or the manufacturing unit would certainly go ahead with employing more of employees. So in that case again there would be job creation, employment generation. Once there is employment generation at that point, definitely again there would be savings. How savings? Because all these people who are employed would get salaries, and thereby again savings, and further again in regards to the expenditure. Once when they salaried employees who have got the jobs, then the way they would also go ahead with spending, that is they would also be in the mode of expenditure. When that take place, again that money would again get into the people or the entire market or this what is a manufacturing sector, and thereby the circle revolves in such a way that money is stable or there is enough of money circulation in the market or with the people. So that is the intention that they have gone ahead with, making sure that there is more of liquidity or enough of liquidity. But the situation what it is now, that the liquidity is squeezed because of the, we have seen the COVID-19 impact. Because of that, the entire global economy has slowed down. Because of the global economy or the trade, global trade, the global economy has slowed down. Because of the slowdown in the economy, economic crisis is what is prevailing now. And then this crisis of economic crisis should not further what is a grip or what you say slide into the economic recession and further into economic depression. Thereby the government of, that is the RBI, has made sure that it has gone ahead with the cut in repo rates and reverse repo rates, making sure that there is excess of liquidity with the RBI. And then this will make sure that the banks will have more of money, and that when the banks have more of money, they will start lending that money. And then the intention of the RBI is to have more money with the banks, not just keep the excess money with the banks, but make sure that the banks also would further extend it to the people or to the what you say pump that excess money into the market, not but not just keeping the excess liquidity with the RBI. It wants the banks to make sure that the privileges or the liquidity is being passed on to the people or into the market. And then we, it is just for information sake that out of the 6 members of the monetary policy committee, that is, it is the monetary policy committee which decides the cut-in rates. Frankly speaking, it is not the RBI, but under the RBI you have a monetary policy which is actually looking into the rate in cuts, and this is the monetary policy committee which has 6 members, and out of the 6 members, 4 have taken the decision that they can go that they would go ahead with cut in the interest rate, that is in regards to the repo rate. That repo rate would has been cut by 75 basis point, and now the repo rate is at 4.4 percentage. So this explanation is very important for prelims. In regards to the, you have the static point, that is the factual data which I have mentioned, and also in regards to the analytical point of view, how the liquidity, excess liquidity which is required with the banks should be with the banks but not with the RBI. And the intention of the RBI is the money should be with the banks, excess liquidity with the bank, thereby again pass it on to the people in the form of loans. So that is important, or the importance of the rate cuts by the RBI. The governor of the RBI is now Shaktikanta Das. And the RBI has also allowed banks to defer payments of EMI. So what is this defer payments? That is, make sure that they go ahead with some kind of postponement or rescheduling of the EMIs based on the home loans, car loans, personal loans, and also the payments which are pertaining to the credit card which are due, that can be deferred in the sense postponed or rescheduled for next 3 months up to May 31. This is very important when we look at it, because this will definitely ease a kind of burden on the people whose salaries are not being credited, and they, if they are into businesses, because of the lockdown, national lockdown, because of the national lockdown, many of the manufacturing sectors or the production units have been shut down. And because of the shutdown of the national lockdown, the consequences are that there was no production or there is no demand and supply which is happening now. Because of the demand and supply, or the supply shock which is happening because of the COVID-19 of the pandemic, thereby there would be a problem for the one who is actually has the payments in regards to the home loans or car loans or also personal loans. So the RBI has taken a very good initiative, making sure that it will not be a burden on the employed, or the what do you say, people who are employed are also in regards to the businessmen, sure, I mean a small manufacturing units wherein they have to make the loans even to the banks in regards to the business. So these loans are being deferred in the sense, as I've said, they have been postponed or rescheduled, that even along with the credit card dues, they can postpone it for another 3 months up till May 31, up till May 31. That means if I am unable to make my EMI, what do you say, EMI for my home loan, which which is scheduled for the next month, that is April month, so I can go ahead with rescheduling it to, what do you say, next further month. But what will happen is, whatever you have rescheduled or postponed the EMIs, it could be on the home, car, personal or credit cards dues, those, that what do you say, whatever you have postponed, that amount will be calculated and then there would be interest accrued on it, and that interest you have to again pay it after the 3 months, that is May 31. That means the RBI is giving a, has come out with an initiative. It is giving you an opportunity that if you are not having a sufficient money, that if you pay it for the home loan or car loan or personal loan, then you will not have the money for the, what do you say, essential commodities. So taking into that into consideration, the RBI has deferred the payment. This is very very important for analytical and then in regards to the prelims and mains point of view also. And then interest rates on external benchmark, that which are linked to loans, have been cut from 7.8 percentage to 7.05 percentage. That means 0.75 percentage reduction has been done to the interest rates which are external benchmark linked to loans, and those linked to repo rate, that is, which were the repo rates which were earlier in regards to 6.65, so they have cut down the external benchmark linked to the loans from 7.8 percentage to 7.05 percentage, and the EMIs on home loan would get cheaper now. Why? Because of the 7.8 to 7.5 percentage cheaper at what, that is 50 rupees 52 per 1 lakh on a, the one who is going ahead with the home loans, which wherein their duration is 30-year loan. Those, what do you say, EMI, what do you say, people who are paying the home loan, they would have a reduce of 52 rupees per lakh. So you can calculate for 30, what is it, how many lakhs they have, and then approximately the 30-year loan people who have the, I mean the end date as 30-year duration, for every 1 lakh 52 rupees would be deducted, and then hence the home loan would get cheaper. So these are the, what is the, initiatives taken by the RBI to make sure that there is certainly the liquidity which would be increased in the banks and also with the people how, the individuals how, because of this differing payment of EMIs, and then it is cutting down from 7.8 to 7.05, and then the home loans getting cheaper. So definitely there would be little better, I mean some relaxation, and then you would have some amount with you which you were not earlier having it. And then we will look at the liquidity part of the rate cuts, how it would impact the liquidity. So we have seen the reverse repo rate and also the repo rate and also the reverse repo rate. So the RBI has also reduced the cash reserves ratio. That means this is the reserves ratio wherein the banks have to deposit, have reserves with the RBI. So it has reduced it by 100 basis points. This also has, what you say, gone ahead with making sure that there is liquidity which is also increased, looking at, or the another facility is by the marginal standing facility, and the third one is the by using the long term repo operation or LTRO. So by, as we have seen earlier, the repo rate 1, reverse repo rate 2, and this is the 3 cash reserves ratio. And then by going ahead with marginal standing facility and by the long term repo operation LTRO, 1 lakh crore rupees is actually been what is pumped into the market by only this auctioning of LTRO by RBI to banks, not to the people. Auctioning of LTRO by the RBI to the banks. RBI will pump 1 lakh crore rupees into the banks. So these three measures what I have spoken about here, especially cash reserves ratio, and then again in regards to the marginal standing facility, and then the long term repo rate, repo operation, these three together will infuse how much money into the banking sector? Rupees 3.74 lakh crore rupees into the banking sector, and this is a huge amount. That is what we are talking about, liquidity. So the liquidity pumped by the RBI by the three and by the repo rate and reverse repo rate would be 3.74 lakh crore rupees into it. As we have also seen that the cash reserves ratio, the proportion of liabilities with the bank which has set aside a cash has been reduced by 4% to 3%. That means the the amount of reserves the banks have to have, or what do you say, keep it with the RBI, or what do you say, reserve it with the RBI. I repeat, the amount of money the banks have to reserve it with the RBI, that is the cash reserves ratio, which was earlier 4% has been reduced to 3%. That means when it is reduced from 4 to 3%, that means the banks will have extra 1% of cash with with them, so that they can use that extra 1%. When we are talking, I am talking about the extra 1%. 4 minus 3 is 1%. So this 1% is nothing but the 100 basis points. So 100 basis points is equivalent to 1%. So 100 basis points of CRR, wherein this extra 1% which is with the banks will free up again 1.37 lakh crore of liquidity for the to the banks. So look at the various methods taken up by the RBI to make sure that it is pumping enough of liquidity into the banks. And then by this, the SBI itself, by lowering the CRR, that is 100 basis point, and what I said, that is from 4 to 3%, that is 1% itself will release 31,000 crores. That means the bank SBI itself will have extra 31,000 crores of rupees. So that extra money, the liquidity, has to be again made sure that it is being passed down to the individuals or the businessmen in the form of loans. And then banks do not earn any interest on the CRR balance. It is again a pure prelims point of view, factual, wherein if it is given or mentioned in the statement, one of the statement, the CRR, which is the initiative taken by the RBI to pump the money or the to have excess money into the banks or excess liquidity in the banks, does it earn or it earns any interest? No, the banks do not earn any interest. The banks do not earn any interest for maintaining the CRR balance. And with this reduction, what I have said is that earlier from 4 to 3% reduction, they can deploy the liquidity, that excess money, whatever that 1% in our discussion, they can deploy or they can put that excess liquidity in the interest earning assets. So look at interest earning assets. What kind of interest earning assets? The way I said, that they can give it in the form of loans, from where they would again get, what do you say, interest by giving the amount in the form of loans to individuals or the businessmen. RBI has also increased liquidity by marginal standing facility. This is another, what is a facility? which the RBI has increased the liquidity from 2%, and then you also have another facility, that is statutory liquidity ratio SLR, to 3%. And these, what you say, are the measures or the methods wherein the RBI is pumping money into the banks. And then by the other one, that is targeted long-term repo operation, I have also said that here, that is LTRO, LTR, this is long-term repo. This is nothing but the targeted long-term repo operation, that is TLTRO, or it is generally called as LTRO. And by auctioning this, they are infusing again 1 lakh crore rupees. So entire all this money, the liquidity which the RBI has pumped into the banks, is as equivalent to 3% of the GDP, India's GDP. So look at 3% of the Indian GDP is the one wherein RBI has pumped the liquidity in the banking sector. So it's a very big amount. And then this is how is functioning day in, day out to make sure that there will not be economic instability, there will not be economic crisis, there will not be economic recession. Further heading towards, there will not be economic depression. But very successfully, the RBI is coming to the rescue of economic crisis, economic instability, that is India's economic crisis and India's economic instability, by opening the floodgates, that is liquidity floodgates. So you can also have a question in the mains. If it is asked in such a way what I have said, then you are fully ready to write an answer even in regards to the mains. And now we will look at an issue in regards to international, that is talks with Taliban. So we have seen that day before yesterday there was an incident in Afghanistan, that is Kabul, and the incident is nothing but we have seen that there was a terror attack on Gurudwar in Kabul, wherein because of this attack by the ISIS, not the Taliban's, I'm giving you the, what do you say, the brief background about what has happened and why the talks with Taliban has immediately come into the forefront, that the government, Afghan government, wanted to take or initiating that they would go ahead with the talks, and then they have named a team, they have come up with a team that that team would, on behalf of the Afghan government, a particular team comprising of a few members, have or will have discussions or talk with the Taliban, so that whatever the situation has or the government has experienced, Afghan government, they will make sure that it will not further percolate or further, what do you say, take it in that way that it will bubble and then it will create panic or create more of disturbance. So for what reasons I'm talking about? So it was day before that IS, IS has gone ahead with an attack on the Gurudwar in Kabul, wherein in the Gurudwar, because of the attack, 25 Sikhs have been, what do you say, killed. So ultimately, when we look at, the ISIS have attacked the minorities in Afghanistan, or not ISIS, to be more precise, it is the IS, Islamic State, has, what do you say, targeted the minorities in Afghanistan government, and the targeted minorities are the Sikhs. So which is the one which has attacked the terrorist organization? That is the Islamic State in Khorasan province, and that is ISKP. This again for prelims point of view, because if he has asked, or if one of the option is ISIS or Taliban or any other terrorist organization, if he is mentioning there, or Al Qaeda if he is mentioning, probably we not, what do you say, we would be hooked up to either Al Qaeda or ISIS or Taliban, but you will not think about that the answer could be ISKP. But The answer is definitely ISKPs. That means my what do you say explanation or our discussion is very clearly now in regards to the prelims factual point of view. So the terrorist organization which was responsible for the attack on Gurudwara in Kabul and which has killed the 25 minorities, that is the 6, is none other than ISKP, that is Islamic State in Khorasan province. Earlier that ISIS is Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. Please do understand. ISIS is Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. As now the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria has been told, or maximally, what do you say, it has been flushed out. Now they have entered into Europe as migrants. They have, what do you say, been part of Pakistan and also Afghanistan, and then they are also in the POK region. They are in the, what do you say, we have seen in Bangladesh also, Indonesia, that is Southeast Asian nations. And now they wanted to, what do you say, through their, what do you say, presence, that they are not wiped out completely, but still they are having their presence. And by this attack they wanted to prove that yes, we are still having the same kind of, what do you say, importance what we had in Iraq and Syria. So this is Islamic State in Khorasan province, please do understand. So this IS terrorist organization has gone ahead with the killing of or else attacking the 21 members of the 6. So we have seen that earlier also when the Taliban regime was there from 1991 to 2001, it was the Talibans which were attacking the Muslim, minority community, that is the Hindus, the Sikhs and other minority communities. And now again the same kind of strategy which was used by Talibans to attack the minorities, wherein the minorities in Afghanistan are actually being given, or they are, what do you say, under the purview of few constitutional rights by the Afghan government. But still the Taliban from 1991 to 2001, they have targeted the minority community, and the same logic or tactic is being used by ISKP. Islamic State in Khorasan province is also using the same strategy, attacking the minority and then threatening the government or cautioning the government, we are also there and we will also grow. And for the Afghanistan government, it is the cause of concern earlier existing with the Taliban, and now with the emergence of ISKP, it is a double blow or double, what do you say, threat to the Afghanistan government, that they have to handle both Talibans and then ISKP. So after the attack by the ISKP on the Gurudwara, it is imperative that the Afghanistan government keep aside all the differences what they have within themselves, because Afghanistan has gone for presidential elections in the month of September 2019, and then in the month of September 2019 the elections have been, I mean the results have been declared, and then officially Ashraf Ghani has been elected as the president of Afghanistan. But the other person, I mean the name by name, the opposition by name Abdullah has not, what do you say, recognized Ashraf Ghani as a president, and Abdullah has come up with a another or a parallel government called as rival administration. So this is what is happening in Afghanistan. An elected government and the other one is the rival administration. So when there is a lot of gap being developed within the, what do you say, the elected representatives who have contested the Afghanistan president. So this gap was effectively used by the ISKP, and then they have made sure that if you are not, I mean, you are not together, then that is giving a strength to the ISKP, and then therefore they have attacked the Gurudwara. So yes, definitely the Afghan government has learned a lesson by the ISKP attack on Gurudar, and then it is what you say, uh, 21 lives have been sacrificed in this or taken away by the ISKP, and it was an immediate move by the government to make sure that the 21 member team, because when we look at, don't confuse the number which was the six which were killed were 25, and the team what the Afghan government has finalized is 21 member team, including 5 women amongst them. So this team will, what they will do is they will negotiate with the Taliban that they wanted in the upcoming talks, whatever it is going ahead, because the talks will end the Afghanistan 18-year-old conflict. So what is that? We have seen recently that there was a deal which has been signed between US and Taliban last month, and that will be concluding the Afghanistan 18-year-old conflict, wherein the US military will pull out from Afghanistan. Thereby, that was the, what you say, kind of point put forth by the Taliban to the US that you please move out of the Afghanistan. Let there be not US military in the Afghanistan, and thereby we will make sure that we will have some kind of deal with the Afghanistan government and we will run the show. But now the Afghanistan government has made it very clear that it is coming forward and it would wish to negotiate with the Taliban so that the talks which are supposed to, what you say, take place with the Afghanistan government would possibly go ahead with a ceasefire. That means an agreement between the Afghanistan government and Taliban, wherein there will not be any kind of violence which would be taken up by the Taliban, so that it would disrupt the political stability and also loss of lives of the minorities or even the Afghan citizens itself. So this negotiating team will go ahead with whatever the negotiations with the Taliban has to take place. The talks in the next weeks ago, I mean, it was unveiled actually the previous weeks ago, and they will move further, making sure that it would be with the intra-Afghan. It would be with the intra-Afghan talks with the Taliban, meant to get a way on March 10th in Oslo. That means it was on March 10th wherein there was a, what do you say, a discussion or the deal which has taken place between the US and Taliban in Oslo on March 10th. So on the sidelines of this March 10th discussion of the deal, again the negotiating team which will have talks with the Taliban is expecting a possible ceasefire which to take place, so that once the US moves out of the out of the Afghanistan, that is after 18 years war in Afghanistan, that is from 2001 till almost, what you say, 2019, that is 2020 now, 18 years or so, that would might possibly create a ceasefire, and this will make sure that this team is led by the Afghan intelligence, that is Masoom Staneska, who is a Pashtun tribe identity. So here again, just for, what you say, information sake, who would lead this is the team, the 21 member team which would negotiate with the Taliban is the Afghan intelligence, that is Masoom Staneksky, wherein he is of the Pashtun tribe, wherein there are tribals in the, what do you say, in the Afghanistan. Even the tribal, that is the Pashtun tribe, is very famous and then very, what is a powerful. So they, I mean, he would be part of the, he is part of the Pashtun tribe that would be negotiating with the Taliban. And amongst that, as we have seen, that there are 5 women delegates in, is that is Abiba Sarabi, who would be deputy leader of the government's High Peace Council. So this could be just for information, and if possible, if he is trying to give that a question in the prelims, that 21 member team which has been a part of the team to negotiate, and then the women delegates is been delegated by Habiba Sarabi, just for information. And then Sarabi is an Azahra. I mean, again, why we are trying to emphasize is that because when I was talking about the Taliban regime from 1991 to 2001, it was the Taliban which have targeted the minority groups, Hindus, Muslims, and other Hindus, Sikhs, and other minority groups. So here, why we are trying to focus on the Habiba Sarabi is because Habiba Sarabi is an Hazara. Hazara is a Shiite ethnic group that Taliban have repeatedly targeted. So please do understand, for the mains point of view or also analytical prelims point of view, that when we are looking at Taliban and then ISKP are have in the past targeted the minority community, that is the Hindus, Sikhs, and other minorities, and also the minority, when I'm saying the other minority, that is the Shiite ethnic group. So Shiite ethnic group is also a minority group which was earlier repeatedly targeted by Taliban. For that reasons, a better understanding, comprehensive understanding about the kind of attacks by the Taliban in the past, and then the recent attack by ISKP on the minority. On that regards, when you are able to write in the mains at least two lines, one or two lines or three lines about the attacks on the Afghan minority communities by the Taliban and then ISKP, then you have a solid 2 to 3 lines wherein you can put forward in your answer in the mains. And then in the attack which has taken place, the one involved where there were three terrorists. These three terrorists were part of the ISKP who have attacked the Gurudwara, and then the later on the Afghan security forces have killed all the three terrorists which are what do you say, part of ISKP. But what is to be mentioned here is a man from Kerala, that is Kasara Ghosh from Kerala, is also one of the three terrorists. That means he has been to Afghanistan and then part of ISKP. Now is, I mean, he was part of ISKP, been part of the attack that is attacking the Gurudwara. He has actually moved from Kerala to UAE, and from UAE he has entered into Afghanistan, and then he has been part of the ISKP terrorist organization. So this is all about in depth what I have spoken or discussed about the RBI cut rates in regards to repo rates, reverse repo rate, cash reserves ratio, SLR, and also in regards to the LTRO. And these are the one which have actually pumped money into the banking sector, wherein this entire pumping of the liquidity in the banking sector is as equivalent to the 3% of the entire GDP. So we have looked at length in regards to all this, and also the RBI has come up with deferring the payments or postponing or rescheduling the EMIs on home, car, and personal loans up till 31st. But later on, the amount, the interest will be calculated for those 3 months, and then you have to pay it. I mean, the one who wants to defer, that is postpone or what is a reschedule, they have to go ahead with the interest payment of the interest. So we have looked at all that, that is cash reserves ratio from 4% to 3% reduction, that is 1%, that will pump 1.37 lakh crores of rupees into the banking sector. So we have looked at all this, which could be definitely helpful for you for the prelims point of view. And in regards to this Taliban attack, it could be a best, what do you say, understanding analytical point of view for prelims a little bit, and also for the mains Also, when the answer is given, when a question is given, when you are supposed to write an answer in regards to the, if he is asking the Taliban's on the base on the question based on the Taliban's and the Afghan government, then you can also mention the way the Afghan government has finalized the 21 member team to negotiate with Taliban. You can also include the US Taliban peace deal which has taken place in Maslow on March 10th, and then the Afghanistan 18-year-old war which is, what do you say, almost about to end, and then how the Taliban will be benefited or the Afghanistan government will be benefited. And in the midst of this, now the ISKP has also come into existence, trying to send a message that yes, I am also there in the fray, that whatever gap is there, I would try to fill the gap. So all this we have looked at, and the various minority groups in the Afghanistan, wherein right from 1991 the Taliban have been targeting the Hindus, the Sikhs, the Shiite, and then other minority groups. So thereby we have also discussed about the Sarabi, who is an Hazara, part of or predominantly a Shiite group, and out of the 21 there are 5 women delegates represented or by she is the deputy leader of the High Peace Council. So all this information, I presume that it was informative, knowledgeable, and then you are fully equipped for the prelims and mains point of view. So make sure that you please like the video, subscribe the video, and then hit the bell button for the further notification when you are viewing or watching the YouTube, the channel that is Let's Crack UPSC CSE English. And you can also subscribe this UPSC CSE English channel, and then when you subscribe, please do use my code, because when you use my code SBT10, that is Sandeep Bhushan Thummala 10, you will get 10% discount on the original price upon the subscription. So please do avail the 10% discount by using my code SBT, and then go ahead with subscribing the UPSC CSE English channel without any delay, and then it would be beneficial for you in regards to my classes and also all the other educators who are taking up with the various other subjects. So I hope it was informative. So thank you. See you tomorrow.